Hey, how's it going today, folks? Today I'm going to show you guys how to run my 2-1 comp version team on Nightmare. I'm going to manual it at first. Then it will run on auto for quite a while. And then ultimately at the end I'm going to manual it again and see if I can get to 100 million key. What I've done with this team, it is the same team that I use for Ultimate Nightmare. This is a 1-key Ultimate Nightmare team. I have Venus running at 204. You can see her total stats. She's really high accuracy, 100% crit rate, nearly 200% crit rate damage. 3,600 defense in Stalwart. She's pretty tanky in that gear. Next I have Altan. Altan is in mixed set gear with 1 speed. He's running at 184 speed. I've focused on getting him crit damage and defense. He's at 5,000 defense. You can take a look at his masteries. No Lore of Steel. Give him the extra 5%. And I've gone over to Stoke the Fury to just get extra damage out of the poison on him, since he's one of my main damage dealers. Let me real quick go back to the masteries for Venus. Venus, because I wanted the defense down and weaken to be there as long as possible, instead of Stoke the Fury, I took Master Hexer, but otherwise it's a similar build. Next is Dutchess. Dutchess is using a traditional counter-attacking build. Since she's the one taking the stun, I did not bother with giving her the counterattack on stun, and she is also doing the extra 4% damage. Her gear, I've switched her to mixed gear. Focus on high defense, ideally with not a lot of hit points, although unfortunately I have a few set pieces that do have hit points on it, which is unfortunate, but they also coincided with some of my highest defense rolls. So her hit points is higher than I would like, but she's just under 7,000 defense, 85% crit rate, and 99% critical damage. These are defense as well. Defense, defense, defense. Of course, Valkerie is the key to making any of these crazy 1-key type comps a reality. I'm running her at 7,000 defense, 70% crit. She had to be at 231 speed for this. I've got her in all speed gear. These are all defense. You can see her total stats. Her masteries are the defense oriented as well. And I have her set to counterattack when Valkyrie's stunned if possible. And she has the extra 4% in Stoke the Fury. If I go to Marshald, Marshald also has the counterattack options. If you look at his setup, he's running Stalwart along with Venus. Those are the two I have in Stalwart. His gear is defense, which I had to do, unfortunately. I really wanted him in crit damage, but it didn't work. I was dying too often. Accuracy here, crit damage here, and this is hit points, and this was really his hit points were low enough that he was getting targeted sometimes, and I can't have him targeted, so his hit points need to be more than Dutchess, and so I took the best defense and hit points I had here. Now I'm going to go ahead and start running this. Can't be on auto, which I'm going to have to make sure it's not. Marshall's going to skip. He's going to go 6 turns before he casts his speed. So there's the first one. Valkerie goes 2 turns before she begins her rotation. Altan goes 2 turns, and Dutchess goes 2 turns. So that's 1 for each of them, and 1 for Marshall. He'll do his second turn. Valkerie will do number 2. Altan will do number 2. And Dutchess will do number 2. Now Marshall's going to do his third. Dutchess will cast her counterattack. Marshall's number 4. Here's number 5. Here's number 6, and at this point we can put this on auto. This should sync up at turn number 8 and start giving a 2 for 1, and Valkyrie's shield should be on the first and second of the AoEs, which will get me right up to turn 50, and in Nightmare, quite frankly, it should get me beyond turn 50, because typically Dutchess, if you manual with Dutchess, she won't overwrite her shield, or she won't overwrite Valkyrie's shield with her own, and in that case it's usually possible to get, for me at least, another 10 to 15 turns of extra damage out of her, which lets me approach that 100 million per key number that I'm really looking to get here. So this is the first time I've set this team up this way, so I'm gonna have to watch it and make sure that everything is perfect. I was running this with a slightly different strategy before, where I corrected it after the 11th turn, but this is a lot better because it will allow me to walk away from it. If you just let this run, it'll do about 80 million damage, and Dutchess will be killed on turn 50. But as I said, I believe I've done successfully up to 105 million with this team by manualing beyond turn 50, and that's what I'm going to do here. So we'll watch and see what it does. Alright, so now we're on the turn number 9. You can see they've each done 2 attacks this turn. So with the counterattacks, on turn 1 and turn 2 they're going to actually get 3 attacks. That's really what gives the opportunity on these White Whale or 2-1 comps to do the really high physical damage and achieve these crazy numbers. Really, so far I've seen that you can successfully do a 1 key. Of course with Draco, I don't have him. Draco can do absurd damage with this setup, but you can successfully do a 1 key with Razin or with Venus using this exact comp. So, and you might be able to do a 1 key with other champs using someone other than Dutchess and higher speeds. I haven't tried those possible combinations with this setup yet, but I would imagine, for instance, if you use Bad Alcazar, perhaps I'm not sure. you'd have to use a mix of two champs that had a defense down and a weakened probably to achieve it. So I'd have to think about it. It's possible maybe you could use Turvold and and another champ that had defense down. That might be a possibility that would let you get to that. You'd have to run it at a much higher speed though without Dutchess, and that would make it challenging to get the kind of stats you'd want on Turvold. I don't have the gear to do that. I don't believe. I know that some folks like Murder Inc. or somebody who has insane gear might be able to pull that off though. It's something I'll try and see if I can do it sometime. But for right now, this is my best team, and I'm really comfortable with the damage that it does. I'm going to step away and speed through this. I'll have you guys come back around turn 45 or turn 48, and we will then kind of walk through, and I'll show you how I shift it to manual at that point and milk out the extra damage, and then we'll kind of walk through at the end, and I can just show again the Deadwood Jedi speed setup that I use for this, and we will wrap it up. Okay, Dutchess has just taken the stun at turn 48. At this point now we are going to begin to manual. We're going to wait till turn 49 is complete, and at that point we're going to just put it off auto and make sure that she does not cast her A2. We're going to save that for the stun itself. Everybody else is going to proceed just like they typically do. Now here we are, we're still going to do that. We want to take the AoE before we do that. So essentially the strategy here is to make sure that she always casts her A1 when there are 3 Valkerie shield ticks left. As long as there are 3 ticks, she will not overwrite it with her own shield. So I'm coming into turn 50. You may notice that the AoE has not done that much damage. She still has a pretty good shield on her. I'm going to do her A1. You notice it did not replace the shield. Normally it will overwrite it, but it didn't because of the fact that the shield had 3 ticks on it still. So then I'm going to go ahead and run through the normal sequence with everybody else. Now at this point she can cast her A2, and that will ensure that it keeps the shield. We'll go ahead and proceed with Altan's defense up. Proceed with Valkerie. We can auto for a turn maybe. You can see normally that would have killed her, but with the extra shield it was good. And you can see when there's only a little shield up, she'll overwrite hers and somebody else's. So it can be a real hassle to work around that under normal circumstances. So after this turn, I'm going to have to put it off auto again, and and we'll go through the same sequence, and this will last several turns. So I'm going to continue like this now over the next few turns, and we're just going to watch it go through, and then I will show you when Dutchess is about to die, and we will wrap it up then. Okay, you can see here on turn 59, the crit did enough to Dutchess that it wiped out her shield, so she is going to die on the next attack. I'm going ahead and I am going to let this just run out. She'll take the hit, and she will get killed. And at this point we're going to run a couple more turns. We should get through to the next stun and then wipe. Alright, there we go. We're popping out at 100 million damage. Again, you can see it's a lot of Venus and Altan, but solid damage out of the rest of the team. And you can clearly see where the spread is. It's solid. It's pretty amazing, actually. I never dreamed I'd do 100 million on Nightmare, but especially without Draco, so pretty cool. Before I wrap up, I'll go to the Deadwood Jedi speed calculator again, which I used to kind of set this out. Again, you can see that usual deal, you put the speeds in, the base speeds, you put the turn, you put how long you're willing to wait for each of the abilities, and you can see where you start to get the sync on turn 8 a little bit, and then 100% 2 turns on turn 9, and then it will just continue on. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, or you can always reach out to us on my Discord, which is Heart Up Heroes. The link is in the video. Have a great day.